Yes, we're good. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Blue Green Artifacts, Tony. I just wanted to open some packages. Some of them are actually, I'm kind of looking forward to if it's what I think is in there. And I figured, why not? Let's turn the camera on, get this going. Don't waste your time. I got 4 of them. Just a little Gemini here. If you haven't joined before, if you haven't seen anything before, I am an eBay seller. I sell quite a few comics. I've got, I think, 1,200 listings now. I do have my own personal collection, and I do read, but I really shifted my focus to buying things to sell. I don't know. I love the thrill of the hunt. I love getting more money back than what I put into it. It's kind of like fantasy football, except for with comics. So, and when I don't do a lot of this stuff because I'm really busy with work, and I got 2 kids and a wife, and I like to have a life too. But I check out a lot of content on YouTube, and I guess what I try to do that's a little bit different as a seller is talk about strategies instead of just say, hey, buy this, hey, buy this, hey, buy this. Once you buy it, what are you going to do with it? I mean, really, are you going to slab it? Are you going to sell it raw? Are you going to just get rid of it for what you paid for it? Are you going to get rid of it for less than what you paid for it? What are some strategies for selling? If you watch a lot of content on YouTube, you're going to see a lot of experts who know a lot of things about books that you have no idea about. You're going to listen to some of them, and what? You're going to just shoot shotgun shells and buy this one, buy Jessica Cruz, buy Canto, buy... you're just buying all this stuff. You might not know about it at all, except for what people tell you. That's not my kind of comic speculation. I really like to dig into things that I know, things that I'm comfortable with, strategies that, in my mind, make a lot of sense. I'm sure, not that I use other people's ideas too. We all kind of learn from each other. But I'm not going to spec on books that I know nothing about just because somebody says I should. If I find a good opportunity, I'm not going to buy just one either. I'm going to, as a seller, if you find if you have a shoe store and Nike comes out with this awesome new shoe, do you want one in your store, or do you want 6 or 7 or a dozen? So when you find an opportunity where you can leverage something and you're confident in that decision, that's where you should focus. Instead of shooting shotgun shells at 50,000 things, choose 3 or 4, maybe even just two things to spec on, and just get really good at that, finding it, knowing what to do with it, and knowing when to get rid of it. And chances are you will have success. So this first book, this is a beautiful book, man. This is not a John Tyler Christopher. This is Spider-Gwen #1. I end up buying so many books that a lot of times I don't even know the history of them by the time they show up. I'm trying to show that it's kind of grayish. It's not white like you can see in the reflection. This is a negative space variant. This is not a John Tyler Christopher negative space variant. I believe this is Jenny Frison, actually. I don't know if she borrowed the idea. I don't know if this is a retailer variant either. It is. Comic Pop Collectibles. So, yeah, a nice Spider-Gwen, a nice cover you don't see every day. Jumping on the negative space trend. It hits on a lot of categories. And that is one of my strategies, and a lot of people. I'm not going to pretend these are all my strategies, but if you can find, if you can cross the streams, like in Ghostbusters. So with this book, what are the streams? We've got a Spider-Gwen stream. Obviously, that's great spec. We've got a negative space variant stream. Obviously, that's great spec, no matter what book or character it is. And then lastly, Jenny Frison. Jenny Frison is a hot artist in the last 5 years. Cooled down maybe a little bit since Peach Momoko just started destroying everyone. I'm not huge on on retailer variants, but if they're awesome, I am all about it. You know, I'm a much bigger fan of this kind of design than some sort of sploshy Matina, dark brooding, crazy shit. Crap, whatever. I like things that are striking like that. So looks great. Happy to have purchased it. And let's check the grade. I do not see one spine tick. There's a little issue with a little buckling on this corner, but the corner itself isn't damaged. That should press out. I'm not going to check out the back right now, but honestly, the front here with the press, it looks like a solid 9/8. So I'll check out the back. This is probably the kind that I would want to get graded. Since we're talking about it, and since I've only got 4 books to go through, let's, like I said, follow through on that strategy and give you some tips. All right, so purchases. We paid $20 for this, 26 with shipping, or 25 with shipping. So really happy with that. If this gets a 9.8, if it is a 9.8 contender, I would feel comfortable putting this in a slab, and whether it's selling for it right now or not, I don't really care, but I think this should be easily a $200 book based on the market right now, based on Spider-Gwen or more in a 9.8. So turning $20. If I do slab a book, if I do grade a book, if I use any terminology that you're not familiar with, that I apologize. If I send the book off to a grading company, CGC, CBCS, there are others, but those are the big 2, CGC being the biggest. They can check the quality of the book, the condition of the book for any damage whatsoever, and they give it a grade. The industry standard for the best grade you can get is a 9.8. It is possible to get a 9.9 or a 10.0, but those are so rare that the comic community views a 9.8 as the top grade. And I think this has a chance to get a 9.8. So I could see a 9.8 of this actually eclipsing $200 down the line. Retailer variants, it's a little bit more rare for them to explode on the aftermarket, but they're not as common either, so it's not always difficult to find a buyer. There's a lot of people who are going to see that and say, wow, I've never seen that one before. So Spider-Gwen #1, awesome purchase. I like that one. All right, so we got 2 of these puppies. I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same thing. It's kind of an odd way to send a comic. Seems like it would be really easy to damage. And these are actually coming direct from Dark Horse. Oh, okay. I know why they're big. All right. So these were $50 a piece. All right. So $100 total. There are 2 of them. And I'm going to show the reason that they came in these big containers is it is a comic, but it is also an art print, which is pretty cool. I actually collect and sell art prints. So this was right up my alley. Wow. This is awesome. Holy cow, this is so cool. I do buy and sell, not as much as I used to, but I buy and sell posters and prints from Mondo and Bottleneck. Usually cost 30, 40, 50, $60 a piece. And I try to sell them for as much as possible. So this has a little crinkling in it, but whatever, it's a print. All right, I'm gonna quit teasing you. This was something I found. I love hate Facebook alerts because they let me know what's going on sale and they know who they're marketing to. They know I spend money on comics because they're, internet companies, so they know everything about you. And this was a release by Bill Sienkiewicz. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce his name. Bill Sienkiewicz has been in the game for a long, long time. He came up, he was really famous for that early run of New Mutants covers. He's kind of disappeared and come back off and on. He did his own variant through Dark Horse for Norse mythology. Norse mythology, I'm gonna talk about this before I show it because I want to give you the backstory. Norse mythology is a Dark Horse comic based on a Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman he's now an author, but he used to be a comic book creator, writer. He created Sandman and the Endless and all that universe. Good Omens, American Gods. He got out of comics, or I should say graduated from comics and moved on to become an author. He's written many, many books, and one of his books in the last 5 years was Norse mythology, where he basically reintroduced the stories of Norse mythology in a novel form, telling the stories of Odin and Thor and Loki and Freya and all of those characters that we know very well through the Marvel Universe, but not as a Marvel property. Obviously, Thor isn't really owned by Marvel. So Dark Horse just started coming out with this Norse mythology. I think it's an ongoing too. It's not a mini from what I understand. This Norse mythology series, which is perfect because we got to have the art behind it. This is his art, and this is a foil. This is his art for the cover for his variant of #1. You got Thor on a horse with Mjolnir. The storm, you got Loki in the foreground. It is just beautiful. It's hand numbered 196 out of 300. This edition, this comic, only had 300 print run. So I don't think it was a retailer variant. I think it was just a special that Dark Horse Direct did with Bill Sienkiewicz. So for $50, you get both the comic and this print, which honestly, now there is, if I'm being really picky, maybe it's in the plastic case, actually. I saw a couple crinkles, but actually I don't think they're there. I think it's in the plastic. So yeah, it does look clean. That is so beautiful. That is so awesome. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. If I should sell them, I can't really roll them up. I got to sell them flat. It's amazing though. I don't know. I hope it actually comes across. It's just the way it's the silhouette of Loki. It's really just basically a silhouette. Oh my gosh, yeah. That is just so cool. God, I love that. And for the $50, you get the print and the comic. Now, the comic is not a foil, and they did not even put a backing board on this. Shame on them. Oh, they did, like a piece of paper backing board. Great, thanks, Dark Horse. The spine looks good, though. Otherwise, it is the same artwork, just minus the foil. Can you focus? There we go. So still a beautiful cover. It's definitely more striking in the foil. I kind of wish they did the foil on the comic as well. But such a beautiful, beautiful cover. Bill Sienkiewicz, great artist. Neil Gaiman books, usually very good spec. And this is a sneaky spec for Thor fans, because no Thor fan is going to realize that ahead of time, at least, that he's going to be on the cover of a Dark Horse book. So yeah, this is beautiful. Very, very cool. I'm very happy with that. I mean, what, for $50? I mean, so the comic is $25 and the print is $25, basically. I mean, even if it only gets a 9.6, there's a little, the corners of the comic have kind of rolled up a little bit, or the corners of the bag. So it has come in contact with the corner of the comic. So that might preclude it from getting a 9.8, possibly. Maybe not. Otherwise, it does look pretty clean. There aren't any, just some very microscopic spine issues. I'm definitely going to be grading both of these, though. I mean, these would look amazing on a wall. Oh yeah. And if these are graded, now 100 out of the 300 were a signed version. It wasn't a graded copy, but it was a signed copy. They were obviously more expensive, and probably he signed or numbered those out of 100. But I don't care. Even if you got this signed, it would be hard to get graded. So 300 copies available. Thor, Loki, Mjolnir, Norse mythology, Neil Gaiman. Getting it graded. If this were to get a 9.8, honestly, if you've seen any of my other videos, I talk about pricing quite a bit. I think it's a big part of how you sell. I'm not a big fan of doing just 99-cent auctions and letting the chips fall where they may. Every once in a while, it's a good idea. I'm not going to put the comment back in there. But I price where I think it should be priced, not where the market's at now, which means I get a few hate messages. Ooh, so got a little bend in it right there. Hopefully that didn't cause a big issue. I price where I think it should be, even if that's above where other people have it at. And then people can criticize me all they want. That's fine. I'm just going to do what I do. Yeah, there's a little bit of a bend there, but not a big deal. So another copy. The first one was 189, I believe. This one is 256. So I was not lucky enough to score one of the low numbers. If you do get something that's hand numbered, the bottom, probably the bottom 25 or the bottom 10 will have a little bit more value. But whatever, it's still out of 300. God, that's beautiful. It's just beautiful. And then the other comic, which again is not numbered and hopefully is not damaged. Actually, this one looks better than the other one. Oh, but it does have some spine. Yeah, this one does have some spine issues. Nothing that's broken color, though. Kind of looks like the Kanto print run, if you know what I'm talking about, with those wrinkles up the spine. You're not going to see them on my camera, but should press out. Shouldn't be an issue. Corners look solid, very solid. So happy with those. So yeah, I'm going to grade both of them. Honestly, even if it gets a 9.6, being 1 out of 300, I'm sure other people who buy this are also going to sell, but a lot of people are going to be putting these straight into their PC. There's not going to be a lot out there. I would probably list, if I had it right now as a 9.8, I would probably list it. Again, I kind of price aggressively, so I might put it at $350, $400 and see what kind of interest I get from there. I don't know. This kind of thing, sometimes the strategy is not listed at all for a little while and kind of see what happens to the market. Just let it, because it's going to be rare today. It's going to be rare 3 months from now. It's beautiful today. It's beautiful 3 months from now. If you see something that's similar to that, it's not always best to be the first on the market. Where you want to be first on the market is on the high print run books or the brand new books. If you're the first one to sell, you're going to get a premium compared to everybody else. Once the market gets flooded, it's going to come down. But with a book like this, the market, it can't be flooded. I mean, you could put 300, you could call 300 on eBay. In 2 months, 200 of them will have sold. it's going to dry up, and once it does, to see where the price goes is a good idea. And to be honest, I wish I had followed my own advice on that one when I what was it? Ghost Spider number 2, the Momoko variant, where she's holding the cell phone. Loved that cover when I first saw it. Bought it from Nick at Slabbed Heroes for like $70 or $79, just as a 9.8, just crazy cheap. Just bought it right away. It was a 1 in 25, I believe. Oh, look at that! Turned into Ghost. Seriously, there we go. That one, I thought it would be a good idea to be first to market because I was one of the first to get it back, to get a graded one in hand because Nick was so fast at getting his stuff graded. And there was a lot of heat on it, so I put it on an auction and started it low, thinking, oh, by the time it gets into the hundreds, it's going to have, 80 bids on it. There's going to be so much heat on that, but no, the public hadn't caught up to it yet. I think it sold for like maybe $250, which is great compared, considering the fact that I spent 80 on it, or maybe 95 with shipping. But considering now at 9.8, that's $1,000 book. Yeah, I kind of wish I had tried a different strategy on that one. If I had watched it explode for a little bit first, and then figure out when, look for the time when it dries up. When the inventory dries up, that's when the price is going to take a bump up to the next level, and kind of maximize that. I think as a seller, you have to maximize stuff. You have to. If you don't, because there are books that I sell for really good money, but sometimes they don't make up for all the books that I've purchased and are just sitting here. There are 16 long boxes sitting right next to me. Some of them are for sale, over half of them. They're not selling, not all of them. And the other half are books that I have to just hold on to. Hopefully down the road, they'll have some value. That's a lot of inventory. There's a lot of books here that will never sell. I'll have to cut rate. I'll have to get rid of them. I'll have to, you lose a lot of money as a comic buyer. You're spending a lot of money. You get a lot of enjoyment out of it too, but it's not cheap. So being able to sell that book for $1,000 instead of $250, that absorbs a lot of other costs. You really got to maximize it when you can. So this box was from Sanctum Sanctorum, Comics and Oddities. So I have a feeling this is another variant set, which, again, I just told you I don't do a lot of retailer variants. If I see something beautiful, though, I do jump on. I haven't actually. There's 2 sets in here, so it must have been something good for me to purchase 2. I don't know if they're full sets. It's kind of fun not knowing what you buy. It's like every day is Christmas. It's like, ooh, what did I buy for me? I buy the best gifts for myself. Don't you find? Oh my God. So each one of these sets, let's see, how many books are there? I don't even know what these are yet. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 books. Okay. What? What the heck? I'm a little bit confused. You know, I think I bought like one or two things from Sanctum Sanctorum, and I think they ended up just kind of throwing in a bunch of other stuff, which is odd. Is there a packing slip or something that explains what was purchased? There's not. It's really weird. So there's a few books that are the same in both. There is, let me pull out the ones that are the same. I got 5 copies of King of Nowhere, number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. King of Nowhere is a Boom book. It has had 0 heat, but I have been specking on it. Something about it intrigues me. I guess hoping that it gets some sort of option news. It's kind of interesting cover. It's got little squares of a lot of the different characters, I think, from King of Nowhere. King of Nowhere has a lot of just off the wall characters. I don't know, it's hard to describe, I guess. But so here, let me crack one of these. Let's see, is this a variant cover? I don't think so. I think this is the standard number 5. Gosh, so I'm worse at pulling these out on camera because I get nervous that I'm gonna like jack it up. So yeah, I think this is just the standard. I don't know if it's cover A or not. Each one had a couple different, had both A and B. I'm really confused about this package. All right, so between the 2 packages that each had 5 comics, 5 of them were the same, the King of Nowhere. I did not order that. All right, and then I've got 4 comics that are in top loaders. Oh, and one more single. So we've got the beautiful Alex Ross Silver Surfer. I did not want to collect this whole series, but this one. So this was the Fantastic Four Antithesis, the timeless variant from his series of whatever, however many did, 20 or 30. Some of them I liked, some of them I didn't. I mean, they're awesome, but I mean, these are going to be very heavily collected. But a few of them looked amazing to me, including this Silver Surfer. God, that's awesome. That is really cool. So let's take a look at these other 4 books and figure out what the hell is going on. So here we have a Jenny Frison. I am not even sure what the comic is. I gotta check it out. Obviously a Virgin variant. Looks like it could be Buffy. An Unkindness of Ravens. Another book by Boom Studios. I didn't order this. An Unkindness of Ravens, Jenny Frison, Virgin variant. I don't know if this was a retailer. This is the last package, so let's get a little knowledge while we're doing this. All right, Frison, Unkindness. I'm sorry, I usually know what the hell is showing up at my door in general. But this box has really got me stumped. So this is the 1 in 10. Okay. This is the 1 in 10 for Unkindness of Ravens #1. It is the Jenny Frison variant, selling for about 10, 20 bucks. Cool. I do like Jenny Frison. She's not like one of my top 5 artists, but she's got a lot of covers that are awesome. I don't know if this one is necessarily my favorite of hers. But there are a lot of Jenny Frison collectors out there. Boom Studios has been knocking it out of the park. So anything of theirs could really, they don't make comics that couldn't be translated to another medium, really. Sorry, the thirst. From Minneapolis, we've got brewery Fulton, Sweet Child of Vine, IPA. Cool. Again, this is, the fact that I get free top loaders is kind of nice too. This is really confusing because none of these books do I recall ordering. And I don't remember, unless I did some sort of Sanctum Sanctorum mystery box. I don't remember doing that. This is an artist that I do collect, though. This one. She is in my top 5. And I'm just going to take a glance at the back again to see if it's a variant of some sort. Gosh, I think this is a Buffy. Yep, this is Willow. This is the black and white variant of #3. And the artist, gosh, you really can't see that at all. There we go. The artist is Mirka Andolfo. Mirka Andolfo, I love Mirka Andolfo's work. Black and white isn't the best. She's the one who made Unnatural. She made, what is the other one with the devil and the angel? Unsacred. She's from Italy. She actually got her start making Italian comics. Jonathan Steele, I think, has her first work, which I'm trying to hunt down. She's become pretty popular with Marvel, though. She's done a lot of variants for them. Boom Studios, I think, signed her to a big contract to come up with a lot of covers. She's had some great covers for this Willow series. This is not the best. Actually, one that was on the stands just this week, I think, was one of the best. It was almost a painted. So happy to have another Mirka Andolfo. Let's look it up. Mirka, Willow, black and white. I know watching me do searches on my phone is extremely, God, what the hell is wrong with my camera? Thank you. So this is #3 variant, selling for about the same, 10 bucks maybe. But Mirka books actually will go in my PC, so I don't care what they really sell for. Here we have a Star Wars book. Star Wars Adventures, #1. God, the black and white's just here. Let me put it back in the bag so it doesn't fold over as I'm showing it. Just wanted to see if it was. So this is RIB. So this is, I guess it would be the 1 in 10 for, this is IDW, Star Wars Adventures. Typically their RIB is a 1 in 10. I guess for #1s, they've had 1 in 25s or 1 in 50s. So let's check it out. Frank Avia is the artist. He's done a lot of their variants for the Star Wars Adventures series. 1 RI. There's too many of them. Black, white. I really want to know what these are and why I got them. This is a mystery because honestly, I did not order any of these. So sales on this are all over the place. There's a sale for a couple bucks. There's another one for 30 bucks. It shows to be a 1 in 25. So I have actually been hunting down these Star Wars adventures, the 1 in 10s, the 1 in 25s. Some of them, the Vader's Castle series, have even had, I want to say it's a 1 in 100. Maybe it's just a 1 in 50. This one does look familiar, and this might be the reason why all of these showed up in the first place. Maybe not, though. I think this is a copy of We Only... What is it called? We only eat them when they're flying. No, we only see them when they're dead. I don't know, whatever the hell it's called. I believe that's what this cover is. This is a Virgin variant. This might be a Sancto Sanctorum exclusive. I believe this is number 1. This could be the 1 in 50. We only find them when they're dead. Thank you. We only find them when they're dead. This is a wraparound. This is that series by Ewing. Ewing. It's a really nice cover. I haven't had a chance to read this yet. I've got a couple versions of this first issue. It looks very like Galactus-y with the artwork. So I'm happy to own that one. And I will read it. We find dead boom 1 variant. So this is the 1 in 25 wraparound variant, and it is selling currently for $18-20. So yeah. Well, honestly, I have no idea why these books showed up because I don't recall ordering any of them. I don't know. It's possible. I won't look it up. But this King of Nowhere number 5, that might be the variant as well. I'm not really sure. I've been picking up variants of number 1 of this series. It's odd that they would throw 5 in here unless they just had a shit ton that they wanted to get rid of. And they all have a spine tick right in the same place. So that's that. These are going to go in the long box if that series hits for whatever reason. You know, for these low print indie books that nobody pays attention to after issue 1, and nobody even paid attention to this when there was issue 1. You know, they could turn into $10 books. This Silver Surfer, I mean, there's a million of all of these timeless books out there. Any of these timeless that I am picking up, and I'm not picking up a bunch, but any of the ones that I'm just going to sit on for a while. This kind of thing, this kind of feature, it has nothing to do with, people will buy this for the cover, for the beauty of it, having nothing to do with the inner contents. So I think this kind of thing sells best when it's slabbed. Number 1, if it is in a slab, there aren't going to be as many of them. There will be. I mean, there will be 9.8s of this, but if this could get a 9.8, you know, there might be 3, 4, 5, 10, and then if some will sell, but there might be times when you might be the only seller or one of 2 or 3. And those are the moments where, you know, you can get your asking price because there's nobody else out there. So that's what I might do on this. Maybe hold it for a little while, send it in to get graded. Just when I have room in a shipment. And if I would probably do this as a pre-screen, which means you can package 25 books of the same level, and you can determine what your minimum grade you want to get is. As they're looking through your books, if it hits that minimum, like I would choose 9.8. If this is a 9.8 book, they will encapsulate it and put the grade on it and charge me for the grading. If it isn't a 9.8, if they notice something that would make it a 9.6 or lower, they will not grade it. They will not charge me for encapsulating. They will just charge me a $5 fee for the pre-screen. So for modern books, some modern books have a lot of value when they're 9.8 and almost zero value when they're 9.6, just because they're so common. So for a lot of moderns, that's the way to go. That's probably what I would do here. This in a 9.6, I can't see selling for $40 for the price of getting it graded and pressed in the first place. So that's probably the plan here. Hold on to it for a little bit, send it into CGC when I can, probably no hurry. As a 9.8 pre-screen, if it does get a 9.8, it's got some issues on the dark spine, so that might be a problem. Not sure. But if it does get a 9.8, throw it on eBay. If I was one of 5 sellers, I would probably put like 150 for this, which would give me a good $100 profit on it. I like that. We only find them when they're dead. There's really not any heat on it now. There's really no reason to get it graded or to put it on eBay now, unless I just want $15 for it. So I have 2 choices: either put it in a long box and hold it until there's some news on it, or I can put it on eBay for the what's the word? For the built-in price. If it were to get optioned, where would the 21 and 25 be? If it does get optioned, a 1 in 25 of a series that had a little heat on it at first, I'd say it would jump to like $70. So that's always an option too. I could list it now. I could put $65 on it. That's going to be way above where everybody else is, so it's not going to sell. But then as soon as there is news, boom, and that first day, all of those $20, $30 copies disappear, boom. It could sell then. In the meantime, I could revisit in a couple months and say, you know what, I'm just not feeling that anymore. I'm going to bring that price down and just get my money back out of it. Then I could drop it down to 20 then. I have options. If I put it at 15 and it sells for 15, that's it. Considering I have no idea how much I spent for this, I don't even know where this box came from. Sanctum Sanctorum. I don't know what I paid for it. I'll have to really figure out what the hell's going on with this. But I'd like to get, I'm going to assume that this cost me like $10, $15. I don't know. So I'd like to get more than my money out of it. So this Star Wars adventure, this one I will do what I just said I would do with that one, which is I'm going to put it on eBay. I am not going to get it graded. I don't think it's that great of a cover. And there's not, unless I hear something about this Star Wars Adventures #1 that deserves some heat. I'm not that impressed with it. However, ratio variants of Star Wars books, occasionally, they ebb and flow, but eventually they all get there. So I think I'm going to put this on, even though it's only selling for like $20, $30 now. I'll probably list it at 60. And then that'll just be it's kind of how I inventory books sometimes. I just keep them on eBay. Yes, they might be at a price where nobody's going to pay that much for it. So be it. Again, I can go back and revisit and lower that price or offer discounts or accept best offers. Then I have some freedom. I can do what I want. It's kind of like if you go into like my wife loves purses. If you go into a Coach store, they don't just put $80 on the price tag. Like their price tag actually says $679. And then they have a sale. And then they have a 2-for-1 thing, or then they have some sort of coupon. So the price comes down to $70, but that's not what's on the price tag. The price tag is the $679. I'd rather start at that $679 and give myself freedom to come down than to just throw a bottom of the barrel price out there with no chance to maximize it any more than that. I don't like that. This Willow book, Mirka Andolfo, I will not be selling. I'm going to put this in my PC. I'm trying to It's hard to be a completionist with Orca because she's got a lot out there, actually. This Jenny Frizen, however, Unkindness of Ravens. This is a question mark. This might be one to get graded. It's probably not the most common Jenny Frizen out there. She's done a lot more work on the big books, the B covers for Wonder Woman and such, which there are, tens of thousands. I gotta think this one, Unkindness of Ravens, was not, didn't get a lot of heat when it first came out. So if there was any sort of news with the series, this book could pop, being it is a very popular artist. I think I might do the same thing as what I did in the Star Wars book. I'll price it at that level as if there was news. And again, give myself freedom. If I want to come down in price, I can. If I want to just dump it down the road, I can do that too. If it does pop off and it looks like it's going to be good, then actually, because mine is priced higher, I have the time to actually take it off of eBay and send it in to get graded. That's come up on some of my Star Wars books. I had a bunch of Star Wars tales. I'm glad that I priced them high. If I had priced them at market, they would have all sold. I would have none to send off to eBay or to CGC now. And I've got a few that are 9.8 candidates that are selling for $300, $400, $500, $600, $700. So I'm glad that I didn't put $33 on it when I picked it up. I'm glad I put 85 on it. It didn't sell right away, and once it started gaining more and more heat, I had the time to take it off again. Because again, I want to maximize my profits because they have to offset my losses. So that's it. That's all I got. Sorry for not having any freaking clue where this whole batch came from. I think my favorites of the night is that print and these Norse mythology books, though. Beautiful. Love those. Love Bill Sienkiewicz. And really happy with that Spider-Gwen as well. It's Jenny Frizen night tonight. So that's all I got, peeps. All right. Thanks for joining. I hope you gleaned something. If you hate my strategies and want to insult me for how I price, I guess so be it. Go right ahead. I mean, to each his own. I have gotten nasty comments before. What do you think you're doing pricing like that? I'm like, oh, if you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. If you want to buy it, buy it. That's all it is. I'm not stealing from anybody. I'm not ripping anybody off. If somebody out there is willing to pay the price that's on a price tag, then that's not really overvalued, especially when using apps like this. You can look at 500,000 sellers at the same time. It's not like you can't compare. So anyways, have a good night. Peace. Catch you out there somewhere.